Hi, I'm Emily from Study in Australia TV. There's a lot to think about when you're preparing to study abroad. Details like where will you study and where are you going to live? There are many different accommodation options in Australia that suit all preferences and budgets for international students. You can stay with an Australian family. This is called Homestay. Or you can live in a purpose-built student residence on campus or off campus. There's also the option for you to privately rent a unit or house with other students. There's lots of different accommodation options that will suit your needs and budget, and the cost per week can vary depending on which city you're studying in. It's a good idea to consider your accommodation preference as soon as you accept your offer with an institution, as some accommodation facilities are very popular and fill up quite fast. Things to consider when you're looking at where you'll live include how far it is from where you'll be studying and what type of public transport is available. Can you get to your institution campus easily by bus, train, or tram? Is your accommodation close to a shopping centre for buying food or close to health facilities and other recreational activities? Make sure you know the full cost of the accommodation facility, like how much is the bond, for instance? And will you be required to pay any utility fees like electricity or gas? Let's talk about the different accommodation facilities now. Some students stay in short-term accommodation when they first arrive, so that they can become familiar with their new city and meet potential housemates for private rental. Some short-term or temporary accommodation might include hostels, hotels, temporary housing offered through your institution. This will be offered to you after you accept your offer. The cost for short-term accommodation can be anywhere from $90 to $150 per week. Homestay involves living with a family in their home. This is a good option for younger students who haven't stayed away from home before. Students enjoy all the comforts of a home, get to spend time with the family, and often have meals and cleaning provided. Families offering homestay accommodation are thoroughly screened to ensure they can provide a safe and suitable living environment for students. The cost for homestay can be anywhere from $235 to $325 per week. Purpose-built student accommodation are student residences specifically built for students. The options range from studio apartments to shared rooms with shared communal areas and facilities. Some student residences have common spaces including study rooms, game lounges, rooftop terraces, gym and yoga studios. These student residences are often centrally located and near public transport, making it easy to get around. Bills such as electricity and internet are generally included in the advertised cost, so the cost of living shouldn't change from month to month. The cost for a room in a student residence can be anywhere from $200 to $500 per week. Accommodation and facilities operated by a university for the exclusive use of their students is another option. University managed accommodation is usually fully furnished, includes utility bills, and provides integrated university managed support. The cost for university on-campus accommodation can be anywhere from $110 to $280 per week. Contact your institution to find out what accommodation options they offer and compare the costs against organising your own accommodation. You can also rent or lease a property by yourself or with friends. This can be done through a real estate agent or privately with the owner of the property. There are often rental and share house options posted on accommodation boards at your institution or share house websites. If you rent a property, you will need to pay a security deposit or bond, which is usually 4 weeks' rent, as well as rent in advance to secure the unit or house. This is usually 2 weeks of rent. The bond is held by the relevant state government department or residential tenancy authority and is used to pay for any damages that you, your housemates, or house guests may cause to the rental property. Some or all of the bond may be refunded to you when your lease ends. When you rent privately, you need to pay all the utility bills like electricity, gas, and water usage. The cost for private accommodation can be anywhere from $100 to $250 per week, depending on how many other people you share with and if it's a house or unit you're renting. When you sign an accommodation contract, you're legally obliged to pay for your accommodation expenses on time. You also have the legal right to feel secure in your property and to live in accommodation that is well maintained with working electricity and water. If you have problems with your accommodation, talk to your residential manager, international student support staff for on-campus living, or your homestay service provider. There is always someone who can help you. Here are some tips for looking for the right accommodation facility that suits you. Consider where you'd like to live location-wise within the city you'll be studying in. Think about which suburb will suit you, how close to the city it is, are there any shops, parks, or health facilities close by? How close is your preferred location to your institution campus? If you have some people that are also studying there, how close is it to where your friends will be living? Are you planning on looking for a part-time job? Think about your location and how close it is to the businesses you might work at. What type of activities do you normally like to do? For instance, running or bike riding or going to the movies. Is there a public transport nearby? Check how long it will take you in the morning to get to your institution. Consider how independent you are at the moment. Will you be okay cooking for yourself, doing the household chores? Budget is an important aspect to consider. How long will you be staying there, and is it going to be affordable for you? Will you feel comfortable negotiating with a landlord or agent for private rental accommodation? Are you considering sharing with someone? This could be good for your budget, but you need to find someone that you're compatible with. If you are considering private rental accommodation, remember to budget for the bond that you'll need to pay, which is normally 4 weeks rental, and then you'll normally have to pay 2 weeks of rent up front in the beginning. Also remember to budget for the utilities like electricity, water, gas, telephone, and internet. Unfurnished housing may appear cheaper, but you will need to buy furniture and household appliances. Rent in the city's CBD are normally more expensive than in the suburbs, but you may be saving on the cost of public transport as well as travelling time, so it might be more convenient for you. We recommend that you make a wish list and set a budget before you start looking at accommodation options. This will help you to find the right type of accommodation that will suit you. Your institution will also let you know what accommodation options they have and will help to support you during your stay if you have accommodation problems or need advice. There's a lot to think about when you're considering where you'll live when you arrive in Australia. Hopefully, this information will help you prepare for some of the decisions you'll need to make. At Study in Australia TV, we can assist you in deciding where you'll study. Make contact with us today to discuss what you'd like to study and what city you'd like to study in. Your journey starts soon.